Hi, Gamer here. In this lecture, we know everything about spawning people and vehicles in the city sample project. So without further ado, let's go with it. The first thing we need to do is to go to the outliner and look for spawning object. And we found this four objects. So we have the BP mass crowd spawner, we have the traffic intersection spawner, the traffic parked vehicle spawner, the trailer, and the vehicle spawner. So each of those blueprints is responsible for spawning people. So let's start this city and see what happens. So we can see that the number of people is defined by default for some amounts, and you can play with those, so we change the number of people spawned in the level. So there's many ways to do that. The first one is to use the debug, and for that we need to get our mouse back, go back to the spawner, and we have these two buttons, debug spawn and debug clear. The debug clear will remove each instance in the city. So let's try it, and let's start with the crowd, with the people. So if we do debug clear with those, you can see that the people are removed from the scene. If I start flying, for example, let's take a good place, good spot to do that. And I think this one should be perfect. So let's stay here and go back to the bottom. So if I want to spawn more people, all I have to do is check this debug spawn. And you can see those few people in the scene start appearing. And each time you click on the button, you have more people on the scene. And you can see now that there's more people on the scene. So what we should do now is to go also to the intersection. And this one will put on more people on intersection. So let's go with it. So you can see there's some error, you can ignore them. This is a debug feature, so you can have some errors now and then, and you can also stop it. Hey, please consider acquiring my course on Udemy. It has everything you need to know about the city center project and how to create your own custom city based on it. So it helps a lot. Thanks if you acquire it. And let's go further with our lecture. So this is for the people. This is the first way, and we can do the same for the vehicles. So for that, you need to go here for the BP mass traffic vehicle spawner and do the same. So for example, I can remove all the cars that are clicking on this debug clear. And you can see now that we only have people on the city. If I want to put back the cars, nothing difficult. All I have to do is to check the debug spawn. And each time you click, you have more vehicle in the city. So you need to be careful, of course, with the number of vehicles you put on the scene, because too much vehicle may crash your your system. So it's up to you. So this is the first way to do things. You can spawn using these two debug buttons, one for clearing the scene and the second for putting object on the scene. But there's also a different way where you put on numbers. So for example, let's first remove the people. And you can see there's, on this mass crowd, there's the default count is 5,000. So if you look for count here, and you can see that you have two variables for that. You have the count and the spawning count scale. So this will be a multiplication between the two. So by default, all the people that are spawned are like 5,000 people, but you can put on more, of course. So let's, for example, start by clearing the people. So we'll clear people again. So no more people on the scene. And maybe I should do the same also for the vehicles. So you can see there's nothing spawned on the city right now. I will back to the crowd and I'll put on go filter on count. And let's go with something like 20,000. You can see that the value has been not updated because I was on play mode, so I need to put it back right here when the editor is not running and start it again. Right, so you can see that we already have more people on the streets. And I think 20,000 people should be okay. All right, we can do the same for the vehicles. Like for example, by default it's 2,500, so I can put on something like 6,000. And let's also try the scale like 2, and do the same also for the crowd spawner, and put on a scale of 2, and start the city again. Right, so let's fly up. So the city start to be a bit laggy because there's far more people and vehicles on the scene. All right, that's pretty much it for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment if you liked it, if I want to put on more information about spawning the crowd on the city sample project, and I'll see you in the next one.